Hi, how are you? I'm back. Decided to do it in the daylight to do a video about my journey with this vegan. And it's working out good. I got off to a rough start this morning. Going out to eat, which I love to do, but it's forcing me to stay at home and save money and cook. Because when you go out with friends, they have these restaurants where everything is either non-plant, it's dairy, animal products. So, a lot of people are not, they just are not into it. And then there's some that are. The one thing that I found out for me, that I'm definitely looking at this, that I think it's going to work for me, because people are like, oh, it's not going to work. There's no way you can go without animal products. But I'm seeing that it is going to work for me, because the one thing I noticed about me, that I did some research on my own body. Everybody, the ectomorph, endomorph, the meso, I forgot mes something, but anyway, I'm an endomorph, which means that I will have a tendency to put weight on down, from the rib cage down to the inner thigh, like the pear shape. So the reason why it works for me is because those type of shapes, the endomorph shape, the pear shape, we have a tendency to easily pack on weight. And we eat carbs, which we really shouldn't be eating, carbs. We need to cut the carbs like the rice. So I will have a tendency to put on extra weight down below from the stomach, the thighs, the hip, butt. So endomorphs. Well, this is going to work for me because I can substitute the meat for for high fibers, for good proteins. And I had to do some research, so I'm saying here. So to substitute the high fiber, for replacing the meat, which I love, which I had the other day, tofu, okay, which I love. Tempeh is okay, it's not bad. I can take it or leave it. I definitely like my beans, right? Your lentils, and I love nuts. And I think in one of my other previous videos, I talked about having pistachios, chili nut pistachios. So there's so much you can do. There's so many ways, so many different recipes that you can make. I just made vegetable soup. I had it and it's delicious. Now I'm going to make sweet potato lasagna, squash lasagna, because they almost have similar flavors. So, and definitely, like, for endomorphs, the fruits that I like, berries, strawberries, you can get a lot of different high fibers from them, right? Definitely like bananas. And, just writing down, some of the things that I saw. And the whole grains, definitely like vitamins, which I just took B12 today, vitamin C, with rose hip. I mean, there's so much you can do. So I just had to stop talking about it, but anyway, I'm off, so I'm going to get a cup of coffee with some oat milk or almond milk. So, but anyway, there's so much you can do. And like you said, check to see what your body type is. See what works well for you. Because if you have that type of body that packs on weight, it might be beneficial for you to do some research so you can see what works for you. Because this is definitely, because like I said, I'm replacing the meat with the high fibers, like you said, lentil soup. And of course, if you want to put seasonings, the garlics and the onions and stuff, you can saute it. And another thing too, you don't necessarily have to use vegan butter, because it kind of could be processed. So if you're going to do anything, you definitely Pam, that's kind of out if that's an emergency, but I'm not really sure if that's even vegan. But what you want to do is use hummus. That's good for a substitute of replacing the vegan butter. You can also make your own type of spreads. Let me see, like if you're going to use dressings, or if you're going to use like different cheeses. I found a way to make macaroni and cheese without having to buy Nutrilicious or to use Pancisa, which those things are absolutely delicious. They're excellent, and they're working for me. But I can make a cheese sauce by using sweet potatoes, onions, and carrots with pistachio nuts. So you put them in the blender. You want to soak the nuts, and it works really well. And then once it gets warm, you cook it, or you can actually heat it on the stove for a little bit, and you put it in a blender, and it comes to like a cheese sauce. And use the whole grain pasta, and you put it in the oven. You know, you can use some vegan panko crumbs or whatever, and put it in the oven and spread it. You know, it's really good. So and if you want to use a pinch of Himalaya salt or regular salt, I found salt, and the salt that I found was, it had mixture of my, oh my goodness, what did I always lose this, seaweed and Himalaya salt or sea salt. So it really works pretty well. So you know, there's a lot of stuff that you can replace, you know. Oh, and I wanted to tell you too, if you get that sweet tooth, you know what I found in the market, but you got to really look. And I believe this is vegan. Look at this. Extreme dark chocolate. Now, you want to go sparingly on this, or if you buy 2 or 3 of these, or if you make, you know, get this dark chocolate, you can melt this and you can spread it on some dates and crushed nuts, peanuts that I have, which I might have for a snack. So, but you know, of course, you don't eat this all the time. Anything that you do with any diet, you want to eat in moderation, even if it's a keto diet. You know, you want to stay off of a lot of sweets. You want to stay off of a lot of sodas and stuff, and you know, just drink water. And what I found too is that even if you know, drink a little extra water, because it might help you become fuller faster. Sometimes I do have that little sweet tooth and I want something, so I will have some apple juice, a little bit of orange juice, and but just, you know, try to stay natural. And I use a lot of, you know, herbs and different seasonings on my foods. My thing is, just as long as my palate is getting satisfied, you know, as long as I'm getting, and I'm just eating bland food that makes me want to eat more. But if I eat something and I'm satisfied and I like the taste and I'm like, wow, this is good, then I find out it's good. Another thing that I found out too, once you eat something and, you know, you want to make sure that you're making a conscious decision to make sure that you're healthy, eating healthy. Once you eat it and you get full and it's in your stomach, it's there. It's there. It's satisfied. You won't crave. So as long as you get that food in you and you stop that craving and then you eat healthy, you'll be fine. And sometimes I carry oranges in my pocketbook as I'm kind of rummaging through right now. Sorry, but I have an orange in here. I had a tangerine this morning and I kind of got into a little rush, so I didn't really have a whole lot of time to eat because I had to go to work. So, but I had an orange, and I also ate oh my goodness, the corn chips. They were not corn chips, but they were organic corn tortilla chips. I had a few of those, organic. They were was it purple or black? Organic. Just had a few of those, and I had an orange, a tangerine, and now I have an orange in here. So, you know, keep that sweet tooth down. You can have some of that. I don't think I'll have the black chocolate, dark chocolate. I think I'm just not in the mood for it. So, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna have a little coffee with some almond milk, or I might just have it black, you know. So it's each his own. It's up to you. But you know, you eventually you get satisfied and you get full. But it's just picking those healthy choices. But let me say, I have an endomorph body, and this is working out wonderful for me because I'm not gaining the weight. And then after here, I want to read a little bit. And then I'm gonna go for my exercise. I'm gonna go to the gym, and then back to work tomorrow. You know, and also house cleaning too also helps you kind of work off some calories. It's a beautiful day. Get out here. I'm on the East Coast. All right, you guys. I will talk to you soon. So Get your fresh fruits and vegetables, and today is market day, but I have enough from last week. I still have some grapes, tangerines, so I occasionally eat them. Just pop it in and hey, you get satisfied. And you're also getting hydrated too by getting some fruits and vegetables, and especially oranges, if you can eat them. And always check with your doctor. I did have my vitamins today, my vitamin B12. I think there's a couple more vitamins that I think I'm going to get, I'm going to work on. Another thing I'm going to try to get is soursop. That's really good. Forgot it was actually used for, but it is good for me. But always check with your doctor. I did take magnesium today, vitamin B12, vitamin C with rose hip, and I did take a multivitamin. Let me see, what else did I take? Can't think of it, but I took them all down. So, but I'm gonna check out some more. I don't know if I have vitamin K2. I'm going to do some more research to find out, and when I do, I'll get back on here and tell you, what's good. But always check with your doctor. Don't just listen to somebody that's a random person like anybody on here. That I'm not a doctor, I'm not certified. Always get advice from your doctor before starting any type of diet, so that he can check your blood sugars and check to see if this is right for you, or if you can go into it maybe later after you get everything stable. But anyway, it's working for me, and not by the advice of my doctor, is by me doing my observation on my body, because nobody cares about you but you. all right, I'm going in here to have my little reading session and go for my exercise, and that'll be it. But I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for listening. If you can hit the like button, I'll be sure to come back and give you some more advice. Have a great day. Bye-bye.